Okay. Hey guys. Awkward ang puta. Hey guys. You're probably wondering why you're looking at a guy with an afro. And you're probably wondering from the title na parang, whoa, how do you almost get kicked out? I mean, how is that even possible? Well, yeah, man, woman, or whatever gender you choose to subscribe to, yes, I almost got kicked out. And apparently, you can learn shit from that. So, ayun. Um, why did I make this video? Why am I making this video when I should just be studying? Well, no. I made this video so that you could learn something and actually pick up something from someone who experienced something that you don't want to experience. So, ayun. Hi. My name is Roldine Rolds. My Starbucks name, Gab. I don't know, whatever you can call me, just among those three names. Kung makita niyo ako somewhere. But yeah, I was a freshman 2 years ago in the Philippines. Well, one of the Philippines' big four? Big three? Ewan. Same old stuff. So yun, I'm studying diplomacy because it sounded cool. Ang haba ng pangalan, guys. AB Diplomacy and International Relations with specialization in East and Southeast Asian countries. I need water after saying that. Hindi, it sounds cool. And of course, sabi ng nanay ko, may pera daw sa lahat ng may international sa pangalan. But yeah, anyways, ano na, kamusta ka na, man? How are you? I'm a probie, dude. For those viewers who are asking, what's a probie, man? Are you probe alien? No, dude. I'm on academic probation. I almost got kicked out. And here's the craziest part about almost getting kicked out. Well, I actually learned something from it. Like something that you can't pick up in class or anywhere inside the academic institute. Probably a book, pero you get the point. So, why am I here? I'm going to break down what went wrong, what should have gone, and more importantly, how each mistake taught me something important. So yun, let's move on to the video. I'm not gonna waste your time. So mistake number one. Woo! Numero uno. I chose my major incorrectly. Incorrectly. Oh. I chose my major for, well, the wrong reasons. And why? How do you make a mistake in choosing your own? Hindi siya nagme-make sense. Well, ganito siya. Dapat ako yung namimili nun, di ba? It's supposed to be that way. But, you know, this is one of the major problems that a lot of students in the Philippines is going up through. As in, like, yung nanay nyo nasa likod. Well, this is my story at least. Yung nanay ko nandun nasa likod. Imaginein mo, nanay ko nandun sa likod. Wag yung course na yan, walang pera yan. Diyan ka sa course na yan kasi may international. Di ba? There's more money involved. It's always the money involved. And sabi nga nila, there's more money involved in other countries. Well, that was wrong. And alam mo, gets ko. It's it's one of the parents' biggest dreams na makapag-travel yung anak nila. And hey, sila din mismo makapag-travel through their mga anak. And of course, well, the name diplomacy, hello, it sounded cool, dude. You get to interact. You get to travel to other places and make bank while doing that. I mean, who wouldn't want that? I like that. But turns out it's not all that. So, akala ko diplomacy was all just about traveling, going to embassies, going to other places, and then boom, my job's done. What? No, man. I never really actually researched what diplomacy was all about. Akala ko yung diplomacy was just going to embassies, but actually, you had to have concrete research on what you would do. Especially, kahit hindi diplomacy yung course mo, on any course actually. So, hindi ko tinignan kung ano yung possible career prospects ko. I never really understood what I would do after diplomacy, you know? So, I was so focused on the money in I kept saying that, yung pera nakasama doon. And then the fact that I was like, oh, I get to wear a suit and go to Switzerland. Yeah, but hindi ko alam kung may enjoy ko talaga siya. So, yun. Um, the reality check came in check. If that made sense, that didn't make sense. So the reality check came in check, and I was bored, as in literally so bored reading all of this amount of fucking papers on how diplomacy, liberalism, realism all comes into play, everything, political theories, the whole shebang, man. And hindi ko na kaya. Tapos yung katabi ko, I won't name names, yung katabi ko was like saying everything that I had read in that book as if he read it since he was a kid. Wow. And ako, I couldn't even focus for 3 seconds. As in, 3 seconds, okay, cellphone, reels agad tayo, pare. Reels tayo. Yun. And besides class, I did theater. And dude, for me, that was even more fun. As in, it was so fun to the point that I didn't even go to class. I thought rehearsals was the only reason why I would go to school. And ayun, actually, the school tries to help people like me who are lost and are probably in this course because they thought it was cool. With the alumni talk, I'm like, wow, alumni talk. Okay, let's give it a chance, man. So yun, he was this guy who graduated out of AB diplomacy and akala ko, wow, maybe I could learn something from him. And then when the talk came on, na-realize ko, shit, baka maging glorified lang ako na marketing assistant making reels for the ambassador. Oh shit. I mean, no offense to him, but I did not want to do that. This was not the course that I had in mind. And so, hey, here's what something, and I mean, siguro one thing that I should have realized, or I wish someone had told me to, when I was going through the Ateneo course. Oh, name drop the course list. So yeah, actually stop. Okay, you know what? Here, let's start here. The one thing that you should probably do before you enlist in that course is to know the course that you're enlisting to, or at least your choices. Try to figure out, like, okay, it's all about the details, man. As in, try to figure out every little thing about it. How many units, ano ba yung mga possible career opportunities mo dito, gaano kahaba yung time na kailangan mong gugulin to get a good job, to get a good paying job. Like, ano yung mga salary ranges mo dito? What are your daily even check yourself. Like, what do I need to give up, or not give up, but rather what would I need to do for me to be able to fully commit into this thing, whole entire thing, without walang palya, no questions asked. So yun, another one thing that helped me, man, I'm gonna be honest, I fucking hate plans. I hate planning. Planning is such a nasty thing to do in my brain. As in, ang hirap niyang gawin, sobrang boring niya. But hey, I'm recording, man. Okay, anyway. But hey, here's the big one. Plan ahead. Wow, plan ahead. Pare, ang hypocrite mo naman. No, dude. That's what I actually did, man. As in, I had to plan out my entire day without my brother telling me I had to do it. As in, ginawa ko siya out of my own will nung una. But then when I realized, I was like, hey, shit, this is fun. And then I started applying the things that I put in the schedule, as in what time do I sleep, what time do I eat, what time do I do this, what time do I do that. Holy shit, it actually works. As in, hindi ko na-realize how much it's been changing my life until I actually did it. And that's what you actually have to do. You have to plan out everything. I mean, you don't have to plan, you have to plan it out to the minute. You don't have to start with that. You can plan out by simply blocking out simple tasks that you have to do in your day. And then from then on, go then, as in go even deeper, go even more detailed. But you can simply start with what time do you wake up? What time do you go to sleep? What time do you have to eat breakfast? What time do you have to leave for school? Those little teeny tiny things you could easily start from and jumpstart your scheduling capabilities. Okay, but ayun. And I think one more advice, which I think a lot of college alumni would also give you, is to really choose your circle, man. If you don't choose your circle carefully, you could end up with a bunch of fuckwits who think that partying, smoking weed, and doing all of that in a month span is the fun way to go about college. is not the best way to go about college. You should actually learn how to pick the people that you surround yourself with. I mean, it's not about, forcing yourself to become friends with the smart people. No. You just have to be around people who, would subscribe to your values, who you could actually relate to, yung kaya mong kausapin on a daily basis about like, shit, di ko na kaya to, shit, I don't feel motivated as much, and they would actually give you at least solid advice, or if kung ayaw mo naman ng advice, would actually listen to you and your worries all day long, and, having a good circle of friends, shout out to Kier, Migs, um, Nisha, and everyone else. You guys are the goats, man. I love y'all. But yun, having people who would set your mind straight, set you out straight, and call you out if you're not on the path is such a gift. But yeah, but choosing the wrong major for the wrong reasons, that's just one of the problems, man. There's two more. Two more! Yeah, two more. So yun, anong numero dos? Number two, man. Number two. I thought that university was like senior high. As in, tinanggal lang yung uniforms, tinanggal lang yung colleges, but hell, I was still acting as if I was in senior high. So, ayun, that almost actually cost me everything. And I thought, hey, sa high school, okay lang. Kahit punta ka lang sa klase mo, or at least for my case, you just had to attend class, kahit di ka na attentive, bahala na si Jesus, bahala na si lahat, bahala na lahat. And so, akala ko yung behavior na yun, had, which helped me pass senior high school rather, I could bring it to university. But no, that's exactly why I almost failed. So yun, let me tell you a story. Yung courses ko had these little tiny courses which I shall not name because I love my professors and I don't want them to think. Well, I thought those were my boring classes, and so I thought, hey, if they're boring, maybe I could just free cut it. And why would I need to study in this class if they're just gonna, study and most importantly read, of course. Read in this class if tuturo din naman nila the next day, the next lecture. And okay, fine. Pumunta nga ako, I would go there, sit at the back of the room kasi may charger doon, and the teacher wouldn't see that I was watching YouTube. No. Okay. And then, one more thing, my professors hated me. I mean, ayaw na ayaw nila sa akin. As in, I would show up and like, wow, it's such a surprise that you're here. I know. And then my classmates, well, course mates rather, thought I was a complete fuckwit who lost my mind and think that one of the biggest universities is just a playground for me and I don't need to go to class. And so yun, I never took notes, dude. As in, I never took notes, I never read ahead, and I thought that schedules were a complete joke because people would just remind me that there was a quiz and I needed to go to class. I needed to go to class because, hey, oh, my cuts were too much. But, I always figured that someone else would handle it for me. And then on the other hand, I was all in theater, man. It's in rehearsals, performances, everything, dude. I was everywhere, man. Pero hindi ko alam na nagsasuffer na pala in the background yung academics ko. I was failing and then, boom. One day, everything just started to fall down. And this started with my Mandarin prof. I had a Mandarin class and, well, I received an email from her telling me that, hey, hindi na maayos yung performance mo and I think that you should just drop this class or consider switching courses because if you're not gonna put in any effort, then why are you even here? So that was one. Number two, I had a group work that day as well and ang hirap kumuha ng group mates because number one, no one wanted to be group mates with me. No one wanted to be group mates with the soon-to-be flunky. And number three, yeah, man, my academic probation letter. That was the real big bang. That was when everything around me just shattered. My comfort bubble just went bloop. And that's when I realized how much I needed to change. And then every morning since that day, I remember waking up with little to no motivation at all to do anything. As in everything that I would do would seem useless or worthless, and I felt worthless. And I thought, hey, maybe hiding this from everyone would help me save face and still be the same old dude that they think I was. And, well, no. I had to tell someone because it was eating me up alive. And so I told the closest people that I had in my life. I told my mom, I told my brother, and I told my girlfriend. Shout out Malia, I really love you. So, ayun. But, surprise, I haven't told my dad. And that's the situation I'm in right now. My dad doesn't know I'm a fucking pro V, man. And so, yeah, my dad's my pride and joy. And I don't want to see the same look in his eyes, the same look I remember as when I crashed his boss's motorcycle. Well, that's another video, but hey, yeah. So this is where it gets a little emotional. Wow, my confidence was completely destroyed. I mean, I did not know what to do. I did not know where to go from that. I genuinely didn't think that I wasn't capable of succeeding or doing anything. So, what am I gonna do now? You seem hopeless. Well, I feel hopeless. The viewer's like, oh, no. You can change. And and to help you out with having to change, here's what I had to change. And ito, sobrang crucial nito, pakinggan nyo to if you're in the same spot as me or about to be in the same spot as me. So, number one, I know you've heard this, but hey, you gotta do it, you gotta put in the work. You have to drop the things that aren't essential to you. Well, at least for me, I had, well, video games, late night eating, as in French fries, cheese sticks, come on. You have to. You have to. Number three, partying. Oh my god, it's the pinnacle of college. I mean, you don't have to remove it completely, but you have to control it. You have to stop partying every week. As maybe start with that. Remove the partying every week with partying once every few weeks, or then start off with partying a month or partying every 2 months. I don't know, but you have to start somewhere. Oh, that's actually really good. And ayun, even some of my big theater commitments outside, not to name any companies, but yes, I was supposed to join this, but because of probation, I couldn't. And I had to. And I had to wrestle with the fact that I had to. And yes, well, how did I do that? Can I do? Yes, I did that. And along with my brother, who pushed me to schedule my life, to schedule everything, to start dropping, to start rethinking about my life, and that saved me. And I started investing actually in taking care of myself. As in, literally, the whole shebang, man. Proper sleep. As in, natutulog ako 11, 12. That's it. And then I would wake up at like 6. Well, 7. And then I would gym almost every day of the week. As in, that was something that I couldn't even do before. And now I'm doing it again. I used to do that in high school, by the way. But I stopped. And then, ayun, I'm exercising. And then, boom. I'm building healthy habits. I would, you know, have a nightly routine. I would eat better. I had a very organized time of eating, and I would eat on times that I would eat healthy, basically. Healthy habits nga eh. And so, the biggest thing that I realized from this is that everything would start to change when you start changing things within yourself. So, what am I trying to say here? And I've been talking about how university is in high school, how scheduling saved my life. Well, here is my key insights for now. For now. There's still one more problem, so. Oh, awkward ng puta. Anyways, my key insight is, university isn't like senior high school. As much as it feels like it, it's not senior high school. Hindi na kayo hahabulin ng professors nyo profusely katulad ng dati. Hindi na kayo, you're not stuck to a schedule na parang you just have to stay in one place and then you just wait for teachers to change and then, whoa, hindi ka na bubuhatin ng group mates mo like you're some dumbbell. You have to literally show up. Literally and figuratively. You have to show up for yourself, for, you know what? Show up for yourself. Start from there. Show up for yourself and everything will follow suit. Para, dominoes ba? Dominoes. So, yun. But all everything. We are done with the last two problems. What the hell, man? There's still one more. I know. But here, this is one of the most important, at least for me. And this is what almost took me out of the game. Wow, the game. So, mistake numero tres. Uno, dos, tres. Yes, tres. I was too afraid to realize that something was going on. That something was wrong. And in fact, I started with theater. Theater is one of the biggest parts of my life, and I was too afraid to realize that it has been consuming my entire life. I literally had no life outside of rehearsals other than sleep, eat. But yes, it was rehearsals, eat, sleep, time with my girlfriend, rehearsals. And I was too afraid to realize this because my family expects a lot, or at least I think that my family expects a lot from us, me and my brother. And I was so scared to fail. I was so scared to take a step back, try to study, try to understand where I'm coming from. And see, my brother came from the same college and well, he balanced everything successfully. So I thought if I couldn't do the same, I was a complete fucking failure. Nagsasayang ng pera yung buong pamilya ko sa akin. And I was afraid that I couldn't make my family proud, and I thought that with the way that they smiled, with the way that they attended my theater gigs, with the way that they said, "Wow, that was one of the best performances you've had so far." That was the only thing that made them proud. I thought that that was the only thing that made them proud. And plus adding on to that love was the love from the theater community, and I thought that if I left theater, I don't know where else to belong. Hindi ko na alam kung saan ako malulugar. And so, I continued on with this so-called lifestyle of mine, this unsustainable lifestyle of mine, and hindi ko na alam kung saan to patungo. I thought that, hey, maybe if I just stayed on course, no matter what this is, I could just fug it out and just succeed somehow. But no, I had to realize what was happening. And so, with one honest sit down conversation with my brother, I started to realize something. That I was at a very vital position. That if I didn't realize that I had to make change, or at least be honest to myself that I had to make change, pare pwede pa ako malaglag sa mas malalim na bangin. So yun, what did I start to do? So, I got up, syempre, got up, went to sleep, woke up. It was time. It's time. Shoutout Kong TV and Judy Boy. Love you. So, I started going back to the gym as in to my old home gym, to my old habits, and I started to love myself more, looking at the man in the mirror and saying, "Hey, I love you. You should." And then here's actually a surprising part. Alam mo, if you start showing up to school acing some small quizzes, kahit yung maliliit na quizzes lang, reciting, realizing that whatever you read in your laptop was like, oh shit, I get that. That was fun, dude. Sobrang saya nun. Such a fun feeling to have. And that's when I realized the biggest lesson, which is the tactical retreat. Sometimes you don't have to, keep thugging things out. You don't have to keep powering through that. No. You have to take a step back. You have to take a moment to realize that, okay, let me lay out my plans. Something's going on. You have to realize that something's going on. Let me lay out my plans again and try to decipher what went wrong, what's about to go wrong, and start from there. And you can really love something but still recognize that it's not the best for you at the time. Sometimes you'll only realize that you truly love something if you let it go. What the fuck? Sorry, I just had to do it. But yes, you have to let some things go to realize what's actually good for you. And, you have to realize all these things. And so, ayun, you're probably wondering, what the hell am I doing now? Why are you saying this? Have you flunked out? Have you realized you can do something other than No. In fact, I'm still in diplomacy. I'm still in the same university, still in the same position as I am, just, with the added probation, minus the theater. And honestly, okay ako dito, ah. I'm really happy where I am, and I think, I'm still bummed out with the probation. I still think about what could have gone, what could have happened if I wasn't in probation. But hey, I realized that this failure of mine is actually a stepping stone to somewhere better. And whenever I get tired or parang gusto ko na yung bato lahat ng gamit sa lahat ng gamit ko sa labas ng bahay, I just realize how far I was from the man who was in the same chair, just playing Shadow of Mordor and received that probation letter. And so yun. So if you're struggling with a lot of shit, I mean university decisions, you're in a major where you don't know what else to do, or you're dealing with academic probation, no matter what school, listen to me, man. You're not alone. Sorry. You're not alone. I'm here, and a lot more other people who's probably going to watch is also gonna be here for you. Let me repeat that in a normal way. You're not alone. There is 100 more people, millions probably, 7 billion nga yung tao sa mundo eh. There are probably some people who are in the same situation as you are right now, and hey, you're not alone, man. The journey of figuring out this shit is probably gonna be just a bunch of storms, rage bait moments, and a bunch of crash outs. But hey, it's worth turning on your camera, putting on a few lights, and dressing up in a good shirt. I like this shirt. It's my brother's shirt. So, and telling yourself, hi, this is my life. Talking to this small webcam. So, yun. Hit subscribe if you want to follow along as I continue climbing out of this fucking academic rut that I dug for myself. And comment below, what's your biggest university struggle right now? I want to know. I want to listen. I want to listen. I want to read your stories. And are you dealing with something similar? Let me know, because I actually read every single comment, even if I don't read my readings. And remember, sometimes the biggest mistakes teach you the best lessons that you could get. You don't have to pay top-notch shit to learn so much. Sometimes it's all about in your mistakes. So hey man, thanks for tuning in, and this has been Roldini Bretta, signing off. See you.